Excellent, excellent, awesome. Thank you for joining me. We are doing our first live stream on YouTube. We've been streaming on Twitch now for the last month, and thanks for joining us. What we're going to be doing tonight is some live tarot readings. So anybody who would like a reading, feel free to chime in. Just going to give people some time to gather around and just have a good time tonight. So anyway, thanks for joining me. We've been, let's see here, let's pull this video up on YouTube. Make sure the volume's down, so I just gotta get an idea of the cue what's going on here. Yay, awesome, we made it. Anyway, thanks for joining me. This is Street Level Spirituality, and we are doing some live Astro-Tarot readings for spiritual growth. We have been doing our Hanging With series for a number of years now, and we turned that series into a live stream starting last month on Twitch, which has been a great success. People seem to really like it, and from there we thought, well, let's test it out a little bit, and we've now transitioned the show over to YouTube, a YouTube format here. This is our new YouTube format for the live stream, and so anybody who would like a reading, just let us know. We're going to go over a little bit of astrology for the month, and just kind of chit chat about that while people show up, and just talk about that. So if you want to see your videos, just check us out at the Street Level Spirituality page on YouTube, and we have the new May videos for May 2020 up, and each of those are live streams, again, what we did on Twitch. Go to Twitch and check out Street Level Spirituality there. I'm burning myself while we speak. Anywho, we'll go over the general astrology for the month. Let's pull this down a little bit. It's the audio levels. Is the music and voice sounding good? Voice too low? Music too high? Opposite? Thanks for joining us, guys. We've got 2 people in here. We're just waiting. We're going to go over some astrology for the month. And if anybody would like a reading, just hit me up in the chat. We'll get you in line. I usually actually have a bot on Twitch that does it, and I think the bot works here too, but we'll have to figure out how to get that thing set up. Anyway, I do full tarot readings free of charge. Obviously, donations are always appreciated, but not necessary. We're just going to do a little bit of hang. Everybody's been locked inside. Who wants to sit around at night doing nothing? Let's hang out. Let's do some tarot. Let's talk about astrology. Let's talk about what's going on in your life, right? It's good stuff. Sipping a little tea. High lemon tea. So how are you guys doing tonight? What have you guys been up to? Hanging out? Been laying low at home, doing a lot of this stuff, just getting ready for the new broadcast, which I'm excited about. We've got our new cameras and everything. May's coming up, a couple days away, and there's all sorts of interesting astrological aspects. We have 3 retrogrades for the month of May. Means things are going to be slowing down a little bit. But yet at the same time, we've got a lot of energy in Gemini. So a lot of intellectual energy, people wanting to get out and start chit-chatting, talking, connecting. And the full moon right there, gosh, when is it? The middle of the month? I think it's early. I'll pull it up. But anyway, it's all about getting our needs met, our deepest desires and needs. Again, anybody who wants a reading, hit me up. If not, I'm going to get into the astrology for the month. And let's see. Let's pull it up. Now, the music sounds a little quiet to me, so I'm going to turn that up a little bit. But if for any reason the music's too loud, you just let me know. I just gotta find the music. Where'd the music go? Come back. There it is. Come back, music. Well, this is kind of cool. It's our first YouTube stream. We've been doing them on Twitch, like I said. It's nice to see that it all worked. The setup on YouTube was a little more challenging than on Twitch for some reason, but we're getting it worked out. And I think we're going to do a few on Facebook Live also, just to check things out. So check out Street Level Spirituality at Facebook, and there's a lot of writings over there, stuff like that. Let's check out the astrology for the month. Okay, so we got our astro chart up. Now this is April 30th. Let's go ahead and switch that. Let's take that to May 1st. And that's close enough. May 1st. Okay, just a few days away. On May 1st, we have all sorts of interesting things happening. I'll pick up the pull up the notes for the month here. So there we go, May notes. Again, anybody want a reading? Anybody want a tarot reading? Just chime in on the chat, and we'll get you hooked up. Okay, what we have is I'm just going to go over the astrology for the month of May. May 1st, May Day. We have Mercury conjunct Uranus in Taurus. And actually, you know, I made a big pointer for this. And I have that on my Twitch one, but I'll have to still make it here. I'm still kind of getting this together here. May 1st, Mercury conjunct Uranus and Taurus. We have this ongoing Uranus and Taurus transit that started in March of 2018, which will be going until March 2026. The last time Uranus was in Taurus was 1934 to 1942, and not the best time, if you guys remember correctly. That was what was considered the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, World War II. So we have a lot of those same themes coming. We've got this virus, we've got earth changes, all sorts of interesting things coming up. Uranus is the planet of quick and sudden changes. Taurus ruling things of the earth and the material world. So we've got gosh, another 6 years of this. So everybody hunker down and hang in there. And we go through a lot of changes here, but all for the better. I like to be an optimist about it. Coming in May 1st, Mercury conjunct Taurus in Uranus. The month starts out with Mercury conjunct Uranus and Taurus, and people are going to be talking about what's going on with this whole virus thing, all these life changes, and the future. People are getting intellectual. People are wanting to chit-chat and kind of see what this new, fresh energies, what direction it's going. A lot of Gemini energy this month. May 4th, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. On Star Wars Day this year, the ships are grounded. With the sun illuminating Mercury in Taurus, the way we communicate and think is very beautiful, articulate, and grounded. Sun conjunct Mercury in Taurus is a great day to reach out to a loved one. It's a great day to connect with someone that you care about. It's a great day to have a meaningful conversation. So if you haven't connected with someone in a while, it's a great time to do it. We're just going over the month of May, the astrology, but we are doing live tarot readings for spiritual growth. So if anybody would like a live tarot reading, just hit me with a question. Happy to get you in there. As soon as people start coming in, it can get filled up and backed up for quite a while. So if you have a question, jump on in and let's get your questions answered. I do full Celtic Cross tarot readings. May 7th. So yeah, first week, end of the first week of May, we've got our full moon in Scorpio. And this is an interesting time. Full moons are big feely times. Scorpios are big feelers. So it's really becoming aware of these shadow sides of our desires and our needs inside of ourselves. Areas where we've really cut ourselves off from getting our deepest needs met. And in this type of setup here, it's just going to be a deep emotional time to really get in touch with what those needs are. Stop feeling guilty about them, right? And starting to connect more with your deeper needs. And how do you get those fulfilled? Why do we feel bad about needing something? How do we get our needs met in a way that is healthy, right? And that supports and helps other people. So those are the important questions as we come into the first week of May. Now, I love this, but usually when I do this, when I stream on Twitch, I also have a Astro split screen view. So let's just go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and make that real quick. It's kind of fun. No. Well, let's see. I don't know if I can do that. Oh, I can duplicate. So let's call this Astro split. Let's do that. Again, anybody want a tarot reading, just chime in with a question, and the queue's open for the moment. Astro split. So we got Astro split. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to go into our regular camera. I'm going to copy this, and let's just build this right in front of your eyes, right? So we'll pop that there, and we'll put that over there. And with the Astro split, let's just go. We don't need the logo on there, right? Let's go time passages now. Move that over, right? We can probably see. Yeah, we can see the elements. There we go. And then this guy over here, I can talk to. Oh, that's not it. What the hell am I doing? That would be this guy here. Let's lock all these up. This guy here. Oh, there I am. So now we're just hanging out, looking at the messages for the month. This is the split screen view. I kind of dig it myself. Very nice, very nice. Awesome, everything's working out. Got all the new cameras in. Everything's dialed in. We're doing tarot readings for the month. If anybody would like to join in. Oh, that looks pretty good. So anyway, just going over the astrology for the month while we wait for people who are interested in a tarot reading. And so let's go to May 11th. May 11th, we've got Saturn retrograde in Aquarius and Capricorn all the way until September 29th. So it's quite a ways. Saturn retrograde. Saturn is the planet of responsibility. It is the father. It is, really taking responsibility for things. When Saturn comes along, things usually slow down a little bit. I'm actually gonna send this stream in because my mom likes to hang out with me while I stream, so I just sent it to mom. Anybody wants a tarot reading, just hit me up in the chat and we'll get you in the queue. May 11th, we've got Saturn retrograde in Aquarius and then back into Capricorn. Saturn had already gone through Capricorn for quite a while now, and now it's backing up. It kind of tasted Aquarius a little bit, now it's backing up into Capricorn to kind of finish off whatever business we didn't get resolved in regards to our friendships and healthy friendships. What we want to be aware of as Saturn is retrograde until the end of September is we're looking out for friendships that don't really serve us. We're looking out for toxic friendships, friendships that don't really serve your good, so to say. So, reevaluating friendships. It's time to look a little more serious about the future. And looking at your long-term goals and how your long-term goals affect other people in your life. So you'll see those themes. The other thing with Saturn in retrograde is what you'll get is sometimes a slowdown with work, depending on how it's aspecting your chart. So just be mindful of that. Man, I think I spent all day trying to get ready for this stream. But it's good. We got got it all set up over here on YouTube. We've been, what I was saying earlier is we've been streaming on Twitch, live streaming on Twitch for the last month, which has been really cool. But we wanted to get our YouTube viewers dialed in also and connected, and just get out there on the new platforms. So feel free to reach out, follow, subscribe, whatever you need to do. We've got 3 people in the room while we're getting started here. If anybody would like a tarot reading to get things started, chime in with a question. I will have my bot figured out for YouTube pretty soon, which will automatically put you in a queue. But right now, we'll just do it by ear. Or if you have any questions with astrology, anything like that, we've got our tarot cards just hanging out here, waiting for you to hang out with them. And I kind of like them. I think they're nice. Look at this guy over here. Look at this card. He's a great card. There's no reason to not like this card. He's it's kind of square, right? But other than that, he's good. So anybody want a reading, chime in, and we'll just get back to the Astro split view and go through the rest of the aspects for the month of May. We just talked about the Saturn in retrograde in Aquarius on May 11th. Look out for toxic friendships, weed the garden, so to say. On May 13th, 2 days later, Venus enters Gemini. So anytime Venus enters a sign, it makes that sign more sexy, more lovable, more attractive. Now this is going to be an interesting one because it's the same exact day that Venus goes into Gemini. I think Geminis get a little tricked here because Venus goes retrograde. So anytime Venus goes retrograde, it's not detriment per se. It's just different, right? So often the things that we are attracted to change, and the people who are attracted to us change. Our tastes change, right? The way that we see beauty and our values change. And it's usually a time of a reflective period regarding beauty, materialism, all things Venusian, right? Now, the thing to be aware of here is that in Gemini, it's a very excited energy. It's very chit-chatty, right? It's something that is about kind of getting your, you want to connect with other people, you want to be very intellectual. When it's retrograde, you might find yourself attracted to situations that are new and exciting, but maybe in the long run won't really pan out the way you hope. Or they're more of a temporary type situation, and they last as long as the retrograde does, which is from May 13th until June 25th. So, it's a great time to go have fun, meet new people, explore new ideas and things, but just keep in mind that you don't want to make any huge commitments because you may not feel the same way when Venus comes direct again. Okay, so, and in general with relationships, you just don't want to take on too many responsibilities. Be aware of third-party situations, multiple partners. The Gemini thing kind of makes things kind of wacky. The next day, May 14th, we have Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn. And Jupiter going retrograde in Capricorn until the 13th of September. Now, the visual I got here was kind of you know, getting all excited, getting in your bathing suit, running down to the beach, standing out in front of a big wave, and this wave coming up behind you and kind of knocking your swimsuit off, you know, kind of exposing you. These themes are going to be around work, so be careful this summer. Jupiter is bound to expose you this summer if you haven't checked yourself at work in a while. Take your time, evaluate every situation with a magnifying glass, and take some personal time to reflect on areas you can grow professionally. So just be mindful, not a time to be cocky at work. Jupiter can kind of coax out this the excitement and expansion, and right now, if you're kind of being checked out for your integrity in the work environment, in your relationships, it's a great time to check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right. Let's see here. Anybody want a tarot reading? Just chime in. We're just going over some astrology while people kind of collect here. Just shoot out a question in the chat. I'll give you a full Celtic cross. There's your cards. They're just hanging out waiting for you. They're like, ask me a question. What can I help you with? And then the third one, he's just kind of quiet. I'm not sure what's going on with him. Okay, Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn. Yeah, so just be mindful at work. Not a good time to be cocky. Overconfidence is a really major mistake during this Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn. It's till mid-September. Look at your strengths and weaknesses at work. On May 20th, the Sun enters Gemini. Happy birthday, Geminis. And yeah, that's what happens. It's your birthday. Sun entering Gemini, the energy becomes more excited, more fun-loving. People are ready to get out there and explore the world and their minds. They want to dive into something new and create new experiences for themselves. And I think after being locked inside for so long, this energy is going to be really strong. You're going to see people hopping around everywhere. Which I guess is kind of what people are already doing. I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of people like camping and getting really excited about getting out there in the world. Well, trying to see if I can. Let's see. Move this. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna move that down a couple clicks. There we go. Perfect. Anyway, summer's here. Gemini energy is going to make things really zingy. People are going to get really excited. Do you ever feel like you're dreaming? 2 days later, on May 22nd, we get the new moon in Gemini. The new moon is always in the sign where the sun sign is. It's opposite. And it's time to switch things up. Time to cool off, make a right-hand turn, give the norm the brakes, and dive into something mentally stimulating. New moons I always see as kind of this take a break, chill back, see what's happening, don't freak out. It's a great day to, like I said, switch things up, start studying something new, picking up a book, just go on a journey into a whole other direction that's mentally stimulating, exciting, interesting. Whatever that means for you. And at the end of the month, May 28th, we've got Mercury entering the sign of Cancer. Mercury rules the mind, memory, communications, and Cancer is the crab, soft on the inside, crunchy on the outside. They're really feely and sensitive. During this time, our memory can be improved, and emotions have a larger role in our decision-making processes and how we interact with other people and communicate. So if you have something that you'd like to express deep from within your feelings and your heart, it's a great day to do it because people will be on board and be receptive to your feelings. So that is a general overview of the astrology for the month of May. Let's kick back over to our tarot view because I have a feeling that would indicate that tarot is happening. We do both astrology and tarot here, but right now we're going to be doing some tarot readings, but we can definitely talk astrology also. If anybody has any questions or would like a reading, just shoot me a message in the chat. You can also do astrology charts, talk about relationship stuff, all that fun stuff. Now, I'm just going to be hanging out here for a bit. I'm going to get my book. We can read a little bit about tarot and spiritual growth here. I think I might actually build a little picture-in-picture while we're waiting for anyone who has a question. Anybody who would like a reading, just let us know. Oh, is this music? There's the music balance. Anyway, if the music's too loud, you guys just let me know. I'm gonna duplicate this one here. We'll call this tarot split. We're doing Astro-Tarot for spiritual growth. That means tarot with an astrological influence. And the theme being, what can we do to help develop our spirits more while we are here on the earth? You can do questions that are generally about your spiritual growth, or if you just want to look into your life, your career, your relationships, explore areas of limitations. Just feel free to ask a question while it's still a little bit slow. Let's see, I'm going to actually build a... Oh! Hello, Mrs. Blue. How are you this evening? You'd like to know about career, huh? Well, it's a hot topic for people. It's okay. But we can do it. Let's shuffle these cards. Miss Blue would like to know about career. We can set an intention. We can ask the angels to be here with us tonight. And why don't we do it with some sandalwood incense? Now, I remember my mother used to burn this a lot when I was a kid. She's a beautiful woman. And I got this sandalwood recently, so let's set an intention here, right? Let's get the vibes going. What have you been up to, Lonnie Blue? Curious about your career, huh? Well, I would say that it's probably a pretty hot topic for people these days. A lot of transformation going on. Even for myself, I've been kind of trying to honor my soul and get into a career path that is more authentic, which is this work I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to honor my soul by having the courage to explore my astrology and tarot work. And so far so good. It's been really great. Been doing a lot of really nice readings on Twitch, but I've been really excited about getting over here to YouTube and getting a group over here. So anyone that would like to hang out, feel free to ask questions. You can ask anything about astrology or tarot. Got some yes, lifestyle transformation. Okay, and then how's the balance between the music and the voice? Is the music too loud? It's not something I know and I can't tell from here. I guess. It's a little bit. Okay, all right. So let's tune that back a little bit.
There is an invisible middleman.
Okay, there we go. So let's take it down to about right there. How's that? And let's play some. There we go. Let's dial it in a little bit. So Miss Blue is wondering about career. What's going on with Mrs. Blue's career? And where are we headed with all this? It's usually love or career, right? Something like that. I'm going to go ahead and give this a few shuffles. I kind of like this red velvet. What do you guys think about this red velvet? Yep. Current events are different. Okay, so well, actually, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put. Oh, that'll work. That'll work. Okay, I gotta get all my astrology stuff put away here. We got a lot of astrology stuff here open. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick a number between 1 and 3, Miss Blue. And you get to choose your reading based on what number you pick. Would you like 1, 2, or 3? Deck 1, deck 2, deck 3. 2? 2 is a great option, Mrs. Blue. Okay, so let's get into and see what's going on with Miss Blue and her career. This is the nature of the reading. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse. We have the Page of Pentacles influencing that, which is interesting because that means somebody on a new journey financially, or some new offering to them financially. I'm going to turn off this text here, as much as it's fun to look at. So we have a little more room for the cards. Okay, now this is your spiritual message. This is going to be what's going to help put your view in the proper place here. So we'll put that up here. That is the King of Wands. And then we have your recent past here. Your recent past is coming out of some sort of mental bondage. In the subconscious realms, this is what's motivating you, right? So this is, maybe you're not conscious of why it's happening, right? But this is what's motivating your behavior in regards to this topic. That is the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Coming up in the near future, it looks like you're getting some sort of wisdom or some sort of offer coming to you, and it's going to be up to you whether or not you receive it. If you see this fellow here, he's kind of chilling, but you know, you're not really sure if he's how excited he is about moving forward, right? In the your attitude about the situation is the Ten of Pentacles, you know, and this is, you know, the sense of home and family and connection. And so you're really looking to build a solid structure for yourself and for your loved ones. Okay, now this is your environment. It's the Justice card in reverse. So we'll explore that a little more and see what's going on in your environment. That can often be a very important thing to consider, because we may view things a certain way, but it's important to understand the environment that we're actually in, right? So we know how to respond appropriately and what we're working with. You can have the same action or the same intention in different environments and have different results. You know, so it's good to be aware of what's going on around you. This is your greatest hopes and greatest fears, coming out of feeling guarded, right? So, you know, I have a feeling here this actually might be some sort of new direction for you, overcoming your kind of protective mechanisms to get out there in the world and really shine. And I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, here's your outcome. You've got the Ace of Swords, right? So anyway, the lights are a little bright here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and adjust the exposure. So how's that? Is that a little bit better? Can we see things a little bit better? I think that's a little bit better. We get this kind of hard glare on there. Okay, so Miss Blue, let's check this out. Let's dig into your reading a little bit. So the nature of the reading is the Knight of Wands in reverse, and the Knight of Wands in reverse is, you know, it's delays, it's frustration. I mean, we're going through this virus thing right now. You know, it's all about delays, right? Things are being put on hold. You're kind of sitting at home and you're just like, what's going on, right? You're eager to move forward. Like I said, we're moving more into this Gemini energy, right? And when we move into this Gemini energy, you know, there's new excitement. You know, we want to get out there in the world and kind of make things happen. So you're just feeling like really delayed in anything to do with career right now, which is, you know, like I said, pretty prominent for a lot of people. So the Knight of Wands in reverse can also be, you know, a little bit of frustration, feeling frustrated. So you really want something to happen, right? You're like, I need to do something. Now the Page of Pentacles, this is what's influencing this frustration or this delay. A page is somebody who's new to the scene. He's not a knight. He's not a queen. He's not a king. He's somebody who's just starting a journey. So there's a certain level of innocence or youth in regards to this. So the Page of Pentacles is, you know, really about financial opportunity or manifestation or a new job. So, I mean, this is pretty crazy that you'd ask about your career, right? And then here we are. The very nature of your reading itself is about feeling delayed, about wanting to move forward. And then here we have this new job, you know? Here's this brand new job, this new opportunity. So it's either that, you know, you're going to make the decision to look for a new job, or while this is on delay, right? While this is on delay, you have an opportunity to explore something fresh and new that might even make you feel more youthful, fresh, and want to explore more in life. So I think that's a really beautiful thing here. So that's what's influencing this delay. So opportunities await. Now let's look and see what the angels have to say for you. This is going to give you insight into the situation, right? So the King of Wands is, he's a leader. You know, he's a visionary, he's an entrepreneur. So I have a feeling that this isn't going to be a job that you go get hired for, right? This is entrepreneurial. This is something that you create, right? This is something you create on your own. This is something that I just really see you moving towards something that makes you feel young again, right? Makes you feel fresh and young. So that's what this Page of Pentacles is. You know, you're probably fine with your job. Your job's probably just great, but now you have an opportunity. It's almost like an opportunity we wouldn't usually have, right? Which is you get to go play a little bit and see if this job or whatever this thing is, whether you enjoy it, right? So whatever it is, it's something that is going to be entrepreneurial. It's something that you're going to create for yourself. And it's something you can kind of play with and see if it kind of works for you or it doesn't, right? It's just a new playful thing. Now, in your recent past here, we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. The Eight of Swords in reverse is a release of mental tensions. You know, you're opening up to new perspectives. You know, this is mental upright. It's mental bondage, right? But now in the reverse position, you're opening up to new perspectives. You're no longer rigid in your thinking. You're no longer bound by the way you view things. You're kind of, you know, finding this childlike nature, right? You're being playful. You're finding a way to be playful. And I think this is really wonderful for you, and a really beautiful gift. Man, I am going to have to figure out how to get the glare off these cards. Ain't working. Anyway, so you're open. You have a new shift, a new perspective. You're ready to move forward. Now, this is in your subconscious placement. Your subconscious placement is kind of what's motivating you, whether you're aware of it or not, right? So this is the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is all about charity. Now, in the reverse position, what we're looking at is, you know, kind of moving out of your individualism, right? And into a collective energy, right? So you've already accomplished your goal as an individual. Now, with this in reverse, this is indicating that being an individual in what you're doing is no longer actually going to serve you to the highest degree that it could, right? So it's almost like you did your time, you did your part, you've done the individual work that you needed to do. Now it's time to really start connecting with other people and doing the work with others and having a group connected thing. So maybe not something, you know, much unlike what I'm doing right now, you know, which is something, you know, that gives you an opportunity to connect with a larger group and really share ideas, not necessarily tell them, so to say, you know, being a part of a forum, so to say, right? So this is, you know, you have, since this is in your subconscious placement, this is something that is really driving you on a deep, it's a deep need that is driving this question, right? So again, you have a deep desire to want to share energies, right? And really start to kind of meld ideas and visions and things of that sort. But again, this is all about childlike nature, right? So if we can cultivate that childlike nature, that curiosity, right? And when we're in groups of people, we can be more curious, right? Mm-hmm. Now, coming up in the future here is an offer, you know, and what I'm seeing here is basically that the opportunity is there, and it's just really up to you, you know, if you want to explore it or not, right? So you see this fellow here, and there's 3 cups, and he's kind of waiting for 4 cups, and along comes this little hand out of nothing, right? It's manifesting out of nothing, handing him the cup. And he's just not sure if he wants to move forward yet, because as soon as he gets that 4th cup, man, it's time to go, right? So he's still contemplating things a little bit, right? He's not quite sure. Now, in your situation, this is where we don't want to lose track of that childlike nature. You know, would a child really weigh things out and consider things like that? Hell no, right? A child's gonna grab that cup and run and go play with it until it breaks, right? So I think this is an opportunity for you to avoid creating any kind of roadblocks for yourself that are unnecessary, and just, you know, jump into things and have fun. We got the 10 of Pentacles in the position of your attitude in the situation. The 10 of Pentacles, I'm sorry, 10, yes. 10 of Pentacles, sorry, I was looking at cups there. In the 10 of Pentacles, we have a family, we've got dogs, and we have the grandparents and the children. It demonstrates multiple generations and home and structure. So your attitude about the situation is very much about family, establishing yourself, retirement, and creating a foundation for yourself and your family is really what this is all about for you. Now, this was the card I was saying that's always really important to look at. This is the card of your immediate environment. And with your immediate environment, we know how to respond to a situation, and we can calculate how to best kind of move forward, being aware of the circumstances that we're actually working with and not just in our imagination or in our head, right? So there is a lack of accountability or some sort of lack of justice in your environment. And whether that is, you know, right now we're going through a lot of stuff with resources with government, and some people benefiting more than others, some people getting loans, some people not getting loans, getting payments. You may or may not, I guess what I'm saying here is you might have resources due to you through all this that you may not be aware of, or even possibly resources due to you that are unfairly being withheld, and with a little bit of digging in and looking around, you might just be able to tap into some resources to really be able to take this journey, this new innocent journey, to another level. So get out there, look and see what's going on. Anyone else watching, if you guys want to get in the reading queue, just type your question in the chat, and as soon as I'm done with this reading, we'll get right to you. Thanks for joining us. So anyway, so this could be an opportunity just kind of waiting there for you in regards to resources. Now we have in your greatest hopes and greatest fears. I think you've worked so hard for so long to try to build something. You've had to protect yourself. You've been in situations that people have not always looked out for you, right? In the most beautiful way. And so when we work hard and long and arduous, and we go through many trials and tribulations, there comes a point where we're kind of like, God, it's really great that I've learned to protect myself and take care of myself, but I kind of want to have fun, right? I want to play. I want to get out there again. I want to live life and feel safe and relaxed. I want to be a woman. I don't want to be a man. I want to relax, right? I want to have the feelings that are natural and flowing, and I want to be protected. And so your greatest hopes and greatest fears here is whether or not this is going to be yet another arduous journey, right? Where you're protecting yourself, or you actually have an opportunity now to really let your guard down and enjoy yourself again. And I think that this is what this is all about. If you use this card here, the Page of Pentacles, as your archetype, what I can do here is I'm going to hold this up. I'm actually going to focus this in for you because I want you to really cement this image in your mind. I can't see what the hell I'm doing at all. Anyway, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this. I can do it. I'm going to do it for you, Lonnie Blue. There you are, Lonnie Blue. There you are. So see, you have this fresh new opportunity. Look at that look on your face. You're like, yeah, I get to relax and just enjoy myself, and yeah, it's like the Star of Venus, right? It's just simple, right? Look, it's not complicated. It's not agitating. It's not horrible. It's just you and this beautiful star. So that's the tone, right? This is the tone that we're looking for here. It's your new journey. So anyway, use that as your archetype. That's this new journey that you're on. And I have to do this stuff by hand, but I think I got it. There we go. Looks in focus, right? So that's your new journey here. Now your outcome card, Ace of Swords. I mean, come on, does it get any better than that? You're mastering your mind. I think what this really is you're recognizing that your mind can go into a whole new direction here confidently. You can be playful. You can explore this new career direction. The resources that you need are there. Again, you might need to dig around a little bit with Justice upside down. It's like something's available to you, but someone's not necessarily advertising it, right? So you need to kind of do the homework to dig in a little bit, right? So anyway, that's your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for stopping by. Do you have any other questions about your reading? Or do you have any other questions about your career in general? The crown on the sword. Well, it's the Ace of Swords. It's the master. It is. It's when you come to your full realization and mastery of the mind. So, this is about breakthroughs. This is about seeing things clearly. This is about knowing, right? This is about clarity and also just raw power. So this is, you know, when you see it, you're gonna know it. Yep, double-edged sword. You can cut or you can kill, right? So it's the important thing with the swords here. Okay, so we're just wrapping up this reading, a career reading for Miss Blue here. Anybody else have a question about career, life, spiritual path, spiritual growth, loved ones, exes? It's your opportunity to get in while the queue is open. No wrong questions. Hope you liked your reading there, Miss Blue. I think this is really a fun time for you, you know, that you have this kind of opportunity to explore and be playful in your life. That's wonderful. Oh, well, I'm glad that helped you. Street Level Spirituality, doing some tarot readings here this evening, hanging out, just creating a little hang space. People to hang out, because I don't know about you, but sometimes when you're sitting at home all the time, it can be nice to hang out with people, talk about life, right? See what's going on. Okay, let's put our graphic back up, and then people know what the hell is going on here. Feel free to ask a question in the chat. You will get a free live tarot reading. No expectations. Just building my audience here. Feel free to ask. It's a good. Oh, that's great for you to ask. Well, let's see here. Below the video, if you scroll down, there should be a make a channel donation link. It's about the 5th little emoji down. Make a channel donation, and you click on it, and it brings you to a little page that I use through my streaming service that links directly to PayPal. So feel free. Really appreciate that. And then also on the my website, StreetLevel.Net, you can order astrology readings, birth charts, relationship charts, Zoom calls for astrology, all that fun stuff, and some really beautiful flower essences. I may not seem like a flower essence guy, but it's pretty amazing stuff. Vibrational therapies can create make a big difference in our lives. And flower essences bring a lot of harmony in a time where there's a lot of stress. So you can check those out there. All right, anybody would like a tarot reading, just go and ask a question. And it can be about career, it can be about love. The queue's wide open. So anyone stopping by has an opportunity to get a reading right now. Hey, Avishna Kaur, I'm so bad with names, but I would love to help you with the reading tonight. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. This is a soul path for me that I enjoy doing, and I love sharing and connecting with other people. You can absolutely ask me a question, and I really appreciate it. And I'm happy to help. Hit me. I'll tune into your energy a little bit and shuffle a little bit more. And we can kind of chit-chat a little bit. How you guys doing? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to get a question here from Avishnash. I apologize. Avinash. Apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but I am doing my very best. What do you guys think about the purple light in the background? Is that working? Purple vibes? So we're just going to tune into my question. Should I wait for a reunion with my husband. Now it says Abhay. I'm sorry, is that his name? Or is that, or, I'm sorry, please explain Abhay at the end. Is that his name? Okay, wait for a reunion with my husband. Oh, great, excellent, excellent. Should I wait for a reunion with my husband? Okay, if you could explain that a little bit more. Are you guys separated? Or are you saying that because of the virus going around, you're not sure if it's safe to connect? I would just need a little more clarity on whether or not this is something that's health related or this is a breakup and wanting to kind of reconnect with each other. If you could clarify that, that would be fantastic. Should I wait for a reunion with my husband? He sent me back to my parents' place after a few arguments. Okay, so there is a, you guys are having a disconnect a little bit. And do you mind if I ask culturally, where are you writing from? Just so I can understand a little bit. No, he's not talking to me for 4 months. India, okay, okay. So, so you're feeling a little bit left in the cold, not really sure what's going on, huh? And when you say wait for a reunion, is that something that you are thinking about reaching out to him to reconnect? Is that what's going on? Oh, your in-laws want me to leave. Okay, well, now, do you have any ideas? And he's not talking to you, so you don't know how he feels. Yeah, but you want the relationship. And what would you do in this situation? You would reach out to him directly? You would physically go back there? Or just try to make amends in some manner? Or just show up at the door? Is that kind of what's going on here? Let's tune in here. Okay, I can see a situation, a sticky situation here. It's always tough when you got in-laws involved, right? So let's tune in here, and so let's get to the other view here, and let's get to our tarot view here. I tried reaching out in calls, but he blocked me. Well, that's sounding tough. That's sounding tough. Now let's just tune in here and try to see if we can see a little bit what's going on behind the scenes. And why don't you go ahead and choose a deck. We're going to do either deck 1, deck 2, or deck 3, and you can choose the path of the unfoldment of your reading. Would you like 1, 2, or 3? 2. Always a good selection. So let's check out what the cards are saying here. Now this is tarot for spiritual growth, right? So this is it can often bring up all sorts of different topics and other things that may not be so apparent or obvious. Let's tune in here. The nature of the reading is about leaving something unfinished. So this is kind of like you walking away from the situation, or somebody walking away from the situation. Now, somebody's actually coming out of heartbreak here, which is interesting. So let's see. We're gonna get the cards down first, then we'll see what this is all about. Now, this next card is the card, your spiritual card. This is the message from the angels or from the divas, and this is to provide insight to you that is going to reveal kind of the nature of what's going on here. Now, the High Priestess in reverse can be, you know, some real intense feminine energy. In the recent past, there was some sort of victory on your behalf. This is the subconscious realms, right? So this is what's truly motivating you in this situation. So let's look at that here. All right, now coming up in the upcoming future, we have the Five of Pentacles. I'll be honest with you here, you know, this is not indicative of an immediate resolution. Here is your attitude in the situation, is the 10 of Wands. Some sort of growing tension in the material realms. Now your environment's the sun, so this is interesting. We'll dig a little more into that. Your greatest hopes and fears is the Hierophant in reverse, and you know, again, this can be some of that family stuff, that in-law stuff you're talking about, some sort of family tradition or from some kind of family legacy here. I'm going to turn off this text here so we can see a little bit more. And your outcome card is the Star. Okay, so there is some sense of renewal here at the foundation of your reading here. You're walking away from something that just really didn't fulfill you, and then at the end you've got the Star, which is, you know, this comes after the Tower in the Tarot deck. So this is, you know, the card that comes when you recover from deep loss or deep pain or something like that. So I will say this right away, that you don't need any, there's nothing to be worried about as far as your ability to move forward or your ability to take care of yourself. Now, let's look a little deeper into this. Nature of your reading. Anyone watching, if anyone wants a reading, just chime in on the chat, ask a question. Nature of the reading is the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups is, here's somebody building something, right? And they've got all these cups, they've built this foundation, the structure, but there's a cup missing, and it's just not complete. And you can sit there, and you can want that cup to show up, and you can wait, and you can wait, and you can wait. But when it never really shows up, and it's never complete, that means your needs aren't being fully met. So my intuition here is that you might be in a situation that might be a blessing in disguise, where you might feel like you really want this relationship, but you're actually being provided an opportunity out, that in the long run, maybe not in the short run. In the short run, it might feel a little bit isolating or feeling out in the cold. But in the long run, with the Star here as your completion card, is, you know, you might see yourself completely transformed into a new person, and looking back in the future, so happy that things played out the way they did. So I mean, that's just what I see directly in the cards right now. So it's really up to you how you see that. Now, what's influencing walking away here? I'm getting the message here that you may not be into it as much as you think you are, or it may not be as beneficial to you as you think it might be. Or he might have felt that you weren't all that into him. You know, that could be a whole other aspect of this. Now, the Three of Swords upright is usually some sort of painful separation, right? Now, in the reverse, this is the opposite. This is releasing pain. This is optimism and forgiveness. So what's interesting is, you know, when we started this reading, I got the impression from you that this is something you really want and is heartbreaking. But the cards are telling me that maybe it's something that you know inside already, that maybe this is an opportunity for you to move forward, and that you can let go, and there will be letting go, and that this is going to be kind of a pain-free process, and there's a lot of opportunity on the way. Now let's look to your spiritual card here to see what the angels are saying about what's truly happening here. This card is always really powerful because it gives us insight to where to focus our attention in regard to the situation. Now the High Priestess is, you know, very intuitive, very powerful, mysterious, and subconscious feminine energy, right? Now when it's in reverse, there can be hidden agendas, or, you know, what this is saying is it's time to really get in touch with that intuitive side of who you are as a woman, as a female, or your feminine side. and less about the busyness of the mind. We want to stay away from agendas. We want to stay away from situations that are manipulative, and really take the time to shut out the outside and really discover that inner voice. And I think the message I'm getting here is that whether you're aware of it or not, I think once you really tune into your inner voice and quiet your mind a little bit and quit thinking about, you know, what's he doing or what the situation is, and really listen to what your needs are here, is you're going to see that you're willing to let go of this in a way that is and it really creates opportunities for you. And whether you are or are not, the situation around you is demonstrating that this is actually kind of a really beautiful opportunity for you. I'm not sure what you can do when somebody's not willing to connect with you. In the recent past, we have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is some sort of public recognition, some kind of victory, or self-confidence. So this relationship made you feel confident. I don't know if it was from money, or he told you that you were beautiful, or there was some sort of confidence that you gained in this family dynamic. Maybe his family had resources to offer. Should I expect him connecting to me in the future? Well, let's look at this. Let's see here, okay? So this family, this situation made you feel very confident about yourself. Coming in the near future, you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is a card of feeling alone, right? Feeling a little bit isolated. You know, the person's outside in the snow, so to say. Your attitude in the situation is some sort of growing tensions in the material world. So, you know, I think from a spiritual point of view, your message from the angels here is to really not let your mind get the best of you. Really seek to get in touch with your deepest, innermost needs. I'll answer your second question here in just a moment. In the environment around you, you have the sun. So this is, I keep seeing all these very positive and optimistic cards for you. So, and whether or not, you know, I don't know if this reading is going to really answer whether or not you should be together with him or not, but it's demonstrating that whatever this process is, it's going to really bring you to a level of inspiration and insight that you've never had before. This is a really beautiful thing. You've got the star, you've got the sun. I think you're really getting past your mental turbulence, so to say. The sun card is all about fun and warmth and vitality and success. So you've got this environment around you that's really nurturing, you know, and really welcoming. So now this is where it gets interesting. This is what I want to talk to you about, because this has to do with structure, family structure, things like that. So your greatest hopes and your greatest fears, I think, is more to do with the family overall than just him directly, right? So I have a feeling that you've kind of married the family, right? So in reverse, this is about restriction and challenging. So you may have represented something that was uncomfortable for the family or for him, and you might need to identify what that is. You know, I don't know if it's your language, the way you look, the way you dress, the hobbies that you have, the value system that you have, whatever it might be. It might be kind of against their traditions, right? Or different than their traditions, and showing how you can kind of be sensitive to the traditions while still wanting to be yourself and bring something new to the table can be really powerful for you. So I think you're learning how to have a dialogue with the family. And your outcome card, like I said, is the star. And this is renewal. You're just totally renewed as a person, and that's a beautiful thing. So, you know, whether or not that's, you know, with him or without him, that's yet to be seen, but I'll pull some more cards here in a second. Definitely. There's cultural differences, and so it's learning to be attentive and being sensitive to tradition, and yet at the same time introducing things that you are important to you and giving someone else the same value. Now this is you being totally renewed. This is a wonderful outcome. I see this, it's kind of like whether or not you're back together, whether or not what happens with him and the family works out, don't worry. You have all this opportunity. There may be some time of feeling alone here for a little bit, but don't let those tensions grow on you. You're going to have an opportunity for things to be all right again, and just know that. Okay. Now, in regards to getting back together, I would say that it's quite possible for you guys to get back together because you have the Chariot in reverse, right? So the Chariot in the upright position is somebody who is going on a journey and they can't go back, right? So the Chariot in reverse is saying that journey's not going to happen, right? So I would get this would indicate to me that that whatever this is that you're going through is temporary. You're going to have an opportunity to address the family and to look at those issues. There may be spiritual connections or karmic connections with the family that need to be worked through. And when you do have the opportunity to speak with the family, show them the consideration of their traditions. Ask them about it. Get curious. Really ask them about what things mean to them and how you can connect with them and really integrate who you are with the family and vice versa. These are new times. There's new values forming, and just show that you're compassionate and caring through the process. And I think things can work out really good here for you. So I don't have a definitive answer for you, but I can tell you whatever this journey is that you're going on, it's not a journey you can't come back from. And I would say that's a really good sign that these opportunities and possibilities to resolve this energy are completely there for you. And take advantage of them. We can regret later in our life when we don't handle things with compassion and grace and dignity. And it looks like you might just have a little time to yourself, but in the long run, you're going to have an opportunity to speak your mind and share your values and demonstrate your value as a person. So, sending you lots of love on your journey. There's a lot of challenges out there, but just remember, this is your outcome. This is no matter what happens, right? No matter what happens, you get to find a sense of renewal. You're getting in touch with your emotions. You're getting out of your head, right? Being too intense about things, letting things feel too tense, right? This is tense. This is feeling tense, right? So really get in touch with that inner voice inside yourself. Go lay out in the sun. Do the little things to take care of yourself right now, because cultivating that inner peace and harmony is really what this relationship is requiring. Is they want you to come to the table with that harmony and peace that you've cultivated from within yourself. So that is your reading. I really appreciate you stopping by. Feel free to follow and like and subscribe to Street Level Spirituality. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to stop by anytime. We're going to be doing live streams more often. We're streaming on Twitch. And then this is our first one on YouTube. We'll be doing a lot more soon. So sending you a prayer. Avinash, I wish you the best on your journey. And just remember, you are beautiful and made perfect. Nothing to worry about. Everything will always be okay. All right. Much love to you. Looks like we got 4 viewers. Just finished a reading for Avinash. And I'm trying so hard here. If anybody else would like to step in, oh, you bet. You can only take so much out of life before giving back is helpful for others. And I'm glad that that did something for you. So, that was beautiful. You're a beautiful person, and it looks like you're going to have all the opportunity around you to really fulfill yourself, no matter what the outcome. So if anybody else would like a reading, I'm going to hang out for another 10 minutes or so. And if if we're not going to have any more, then I'll kind of wrap it up in the next 10 minutes. But if anybody does have a question, you can ask about your love life. You can ask about career. You can ask about anything that you're curious about. Or you can just ask about general spiritual insight. General spiritual insight is always a good topic. Gives you a little bit of direction in your life. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody joining me this evening. With this whole stay-at-home thing, it's nice to have a little bit of a community, right? Connect with each other and share, especially around topics of spirituality and growth as people, and getting in touch with our feelings and having more meaningful connections, right? So it's wonderful, right? So anyway, thanks for joining me. We went over the astrology earlier. All 12 videos for May 2020 are up for each sign. So if you want to just click through, subscribe, and you'll get notifications the next time I go live. That'd be great. The May 2020 videos are up. Just go to the video section. There is a playlist. Got 12 videos, one for each sign. Get into the 3 retrograde cycles for the month. And we got Venus going retrograde. Once the retrograde, things are going to be slowing down a little bit. But then we also have Jupiter energy, which is going to start really picking things up at the same time. So we got a kind of weird push and pull of a desire to want to connect, a desire to want to create, but at the same time, things slowing down a little bit. Just going to shuffle a little bit. If anybody would like a tarot reading, just hit me with a question in the chat. We did one for Miss Blue about her career, and she has an opportunity to become more childlike, to tap into some more resources in her life that will free her up to just freshen up her mind, get playful. It's a really, really interesting time because, yeah, we have all these challenges, right? But there's all these kind of unique opportunities because things are slowing down in some ways. People exploring new ideas, new hobbies, new passions. I was able to kind of take my tarot and astrology to another level with the live streaming here now in the last few months, and just having a great time. Really appreciate the community and the connection. So I'm gonna hang out for another 10 minutes or so. If anybody has a question, feel free to chime in. And I think I got enough in me for 1 or 2 more readings. So just doing a little shuffling here. Let's go back to our tarot view, and we'll turn on our message of Astro-Tarot for spiritual growth. Chime in anytime you like. Let's get the cards out. We've got 3 decks just waiting for you. 3 doors. Who wants to go on a journey? I'm going to pause. I'm going to put the mic on mute for a second. Anybody has a question, chime in. I am going to fill up my... Oh! What's my opinions about astrophysicists? Well, to be honest with you, I am not very educated in astrophysics. But my opinion about it is I think that astrophysicists do amazing work in their field. Yeah, I don't have any... I support everyone's journey. And I think that we're all providing unique opportunities for the world. If you have any other specific questions, I'm happy to answer them. What if you're born as a crocodile in this life? Well, that's a good question. Some views, if you look at kind of more mystical Christian views, they would say that that souls don't incarnate in animal forms. And then if you look at other belief systems like Tibetan Buddhism and things of that sort, you have people saying, they won't kill a bug because they say that could have been your mother in a past life. So it's interesting. There's lots of views there, and it's a good question. And it's a great question about how consciousness functions, you know. And if you look at a lot of hypnosis therapies, you'll see people, you know, remembering being birds in past lives and things of that sort. So, to be honest with you, I really don't know. It's a really great question. I'm on the path just like you and everyone else here, just kind of trying to learn things and considering different ideas and information. But if I was born as a crocodile in my life, in this life, I'd feel pretty badass, and I would definitely avoid hunters because I would not want to end up as a handbag. That would be my answer to that question. If anybody has any other questions, we're going to be doing another reading or two here. If anybody wants to chime in what they would do as a crocodile in their life, feel free to chime in there. I am going to go refill my beverage here. So I'm going to just put the microphone on pause for a second. If anybody has a question for a tarot reading, we have a slot open right now. You can ask about career, life, love, all that kind of stuff. And I'll be right back.
Respecters of people, we're respecters of virtue, a code of conduct that respects all life as worthy. This is an anthem for the great spirit, for the old souls lost, calcified, detoxified, renewed. Let's go. Respecters of people, we're respecters of virtue, a code of conduct that respects all life as worthy. We're not respecters of people, we're respecters of virtue. We're respecters of virtue. I am a human man. I have inalienable rights. I have a right to food and shelter and water upon birth. I'm a human man. I have inalienable rights. No matter what's your policy, I am a human man. I have inalienable rights. I have a right to food and shelter and water upon birth. I'm a human man. I have inalienable rights. No matter what's your policy, I am.
Hello, we're back. How you doing? Mohammed, how are you? Cam 1. And let's answer some questions here. What is your opinion about reading books about drop in crude oil, assuming that's the drop in crude oil price? I mean, if you're interested in that, I know a lot of people that work in the oil industry. I don't know about you, but I really do appreciate the lower gas prices overall, even though where I'm at, they tend to be expensive still. And what have you been up to? What are you up to this evening? Hanging out, laying low. All right. Well, if anybody else wants a reading, I'm going to probably wrap it up for the evening. Mohammed, did you have any questions? Did you have any life questions? Anything about your spiritual path, career, anything like that that you would like any insight on? Do you suggest reading the Quran? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the lineage of most major religions all kind of stem from the same lineage and forked off into kind of different beliefs and structures. And I believe that at the root of all of it, we're all human and that we all want the same love and that we want to support each other and have a respect for ourselves and our environment and our creator, whatever that might be or however we might identify with that. I'm very interested in the kind of condemned books of the Bible, so all sorts of different kind of like the Nag Hammadi library and things of that sort. I'm really fascinated just to kind of see different perspectives and just try to see kind of what's going on out there. Now, as far as the Quran, I'm not as familiar with that. The Old Testament, New Testament, absolutely. Nag Hammadi library, Ezekiel, Book of Enoch, the Pistis Sophia, which is a really great, another interesting book. It gets really trippy, kind of a lot of symbology. Christian mysticism is really fascinating. The Quran, to be honest with you, I just haven't read as much. I've been kind of fascinated with the Gnostic texts recently, but I study religion in general, and I appreciate you bringing that up because that's something that I can get a little more into. I find it all super fascinating, you know, to see how we got to this place and, you know, everyone's unique views and expressions, and so I think it's all beautiful. Do I think spirituality is a medicine for humanity? A medicine for humanity? Well, you know, I think it's one of those definitions that can be different for different people, you know. So, you know, for me, you know, I tend to approach it in a kind of a non-religious way, and more about just trying to find a common ground that we can start creating a dialogue collectively that is approachable for everyone, and nobody's not included, you know. And so I tend to speak of it more from the point of view of, you know, brothers and sisters, you know, reaching a point of suffering in our lives that hurts, taking our sorrow and creating an opportunity to use that as motivation to try to embed ourselves and help other people. So, you know, can I describe God? I don't know. I mean, I think I'm kind of more interested in kind of addressing, you know, where we are is, you know, kind of more in the immediate, because I'm just not really sure about all that, to be honest with you. I'm not sure what all that means. I mean, I get my own feelings, and I think everyone gets their own views and feelings, and, you know, I'm kind of on a path of curiosity, and I don't know if I need to. There's so much to do, I think, in the world in conquering my own inner adversary, my own anger, my own fear, my own emotions, learning to take care of myself and other people. I just I feel like I need to get that done first. I just don't really know. I don't have the answer to all that. For me personally, I believe the whole of our entire experience is sacred, and that we need to be gentle with ourselves and others is probably as far as I could say with confidence in that matter. Mm. What is wisdom and how do we gain it? Well, wisdom would be, there's information, right? Organized information is knowledge, and then applied knowledge is wisdom. That's the definition at least, right? So when you apply knowledge into real life situations, we come to understand how things actually function and what actually works and what has traction, and we move from something that's intellectual or just purely information into something that is actually useful in human terms, right? So what is wisdom and how do we gain it? Well, by living. It's the kind of the obvious. Now, if living in a modern world, if we want to gain more wisdom, then there's really wonderful teachers that have come from many different avenues. Muhammad, Buddha, and I think that it's really just up to us as individuals to kind of see what functions for us. For some people it might be just staring at a bird in the tree, and watching the breeze go by. Maybe that's what a Zen master needs to find peace within himself so he can function well as a human being on the planet. How do we find more wisdom? Right now we're really interesting times. Things are somewhat ignorant, right? There's a lot of ignorance right now. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that there's a lot of lack of knowing or understanding of what we're working with here. Our emotions, our humanity, what we need to be mentally and physically healthy. But there's a lot of wonderful wisdom, and I think people find it in different ways. But there's really great writings. There's really, really wonderful thinkers. Marcus Aurelius is a wonderful thinker. I enjoy Alan Watts. He can be a little wacky, but I enjoy little Alan Watts sometimes. Plato. All sorts of interesting stuff out there. So, but it really depends on where you're at, what you're looking for. I mean, for my personal path is I got to a point where I felt I was broken. I felt like I died while I was living, so to say, emotionally, and now all I want to do is just take care of myself and be gentle and not make things worse for the world, for myself or for other people. And it's really as simple as that. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to create more of a ripple in the world than there already is. And I have deep sorrow for the way things are in the world and the amount of division and anger that people have for each other. And I just don't want to contribute to that anymore, Do I believe in hell and heaven? Well, it's an interesting question. Those are all terms that, as you had multiple interpretations, like some people claim that, in the Old Testament, that, a lot of those were from Sumerian times, and you look at the translations, right? And the way the terminology that we used for heaven and hell and how that was interpreted over so many generations of translations can be somewhat unclear about exactly what's intended, what's symbolic, what's literal, and all that. So, those are all good questions. Now, street level spirituality is about practical spirituality. And so it's not really, there's people making big claims out there. There's people that say they have the answers to this and that and that. I'm not really here to necessarily go down that avenue, even though that avenue exists, and I do have my own personal views about it. But from a practical point of view, the way I see heaven and hell or the adversary, because in some translations of Satan, it is the adversary, right? So in a modern context, today, street level means today, right now, right? My day today. In my day today, I'm looking at my own self-doubt. I'm looking at my anger. I'm looking at the inner adversary within myself and recognizing that that's the only part of my life I have any power over, right? So I can get it conceptual and all these different things, but I feel like it's a much more valuable use of my time to focus on what I can do to better myself, or to understand my emotions more, or to come to terms with my emotions, or respond to my emotions in healthier ways, to communicate in healthier ways, to be more gentle. It just seems to be more of an immediate result for me. So that tends to be where my focus is. What is the meaning of life? Well, I mean, that's a big question. I could tell you what 25 years of researching different religions and studies for me, what that means personally for me, but it's probably not something you want to hear, or anyone else, to be honest with you. My view can be a little intense in that department. But I would say in a general terminology, well, it really depends how you see things. If you read, if you go back to Egyptian times, right, and you look at the first monotheistic god, the Aten and Akhenaten, and you believe that potentially Moses learned from him, Akhenaten, in that time period about a monotheistic god, and that was taken as the basis for the Judaic religion that ended up being obviously what spawned Christianity and the eventual connection with Islam. That you can see that there's some uniting themes there. Now, where it gets interesting, how do I know that I'm growing spiritually? Oh man, it really, I think, I think it's different for everyone. For me, like I said, I felt like I died in this life while I was still living. I felt like who I used to be, and I had to face my anger and my fears and everything, and it just broke me down, and I realized that I felt sad. That's all. I just felt sad. I felt sad for the way things are in the world, and I really don't believe that. I really don't believe that people are as scared as death as they are of each other, and the recognition of what we've created as a species and as humanity is devastating. Not feeling good enough. Well, I think it all boils down to first identifying with how you see yourself, right? So, this is where objectified reality and all this stuff gets really interesting. So if we think that we are in ourselves substantially independent from anything else, then there's things to fight for, right? Somebody else has something, I don't have something. Now, if you look at the nature of reality, you look at things from a very realistic point of view, what you'll recognize is that everything is an aggregate of other things, right? So a car is a series of parts, put together. It's not really a car, right? And same is true with ourselves. We have thoughts, feelings, emotions. We have eyeballs. We have a heart. We have veins, fingernails, all these things that come and go, and they're transient, right? We're born into the world. We change. We're constantly changing, and we die. And we rest our body back to the earth. So at what point were we anything? At what point were we anything substantially independent of anything else? And we start to realize that reality is one movement of things, phenomena. And it can be a strange realization because we feel like we're something. We feel like we are independent of something. And we recognize ourselves as points of persistent consciousness. That's the only thing that that stays, right? Is this sense of consciousness that we've had since we were born. But everything else is changing around us. We're changing. Our bodies are changing. Things are living. Things are dying. Things are being born. And everything returns to the earth. So you know, can we really identify with these temporary things, our thoughts, our feelings, emotions, our bodies, other people, or do we start to identify with purely a persistent consciousness, you know? And if you look at a lot of these kind of condemned books of early Christianity and things like that, it's suggestive that ascension or self-realization is simply that, is the realization that we are a persistent eternal consciousness, and that's all we are. So there's no reason to necessarily be upset about gaining or losing anything, you know. So to answer your question, yes, you can, Rimsha. I'm going to finish Muhammad's question here. So in regards to not feeling good enough, I mean, what do you really have or not have? Is the question, right? Well, I had a dream. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, Rimsha. Quickly to wrap up with Muhammad, how did I trigger my fear of failure? I mean, just look at me, man. You know, I'm a graphic designer. I do brand development. I have been doing tarot and astrology as a hobby my whole life. It's something that I really am. It's something I really enjoy doing, and studying religion and philosophy. And I'm putting my neck out here. Here I am. I'm on a camera in front of everyone, and it's frightening. It's horrifying. I'm doing it. I'm an example right before your eyes. And you know, I had a vision of a small boy who showed up by my bedside, and I was asking him about all these fears I had about my life and facing all these emotions and feelings that I didn't want to feel. And he put his hand out like this, and he said, and he motioned his fingers like this, like a little walking man here, and he said, "You're just gonna have to walk into it, and then you'll find out." So, you know, the feeling I got from it was really simple. It was just, you know, like, you'll know why when you do it, right? So I think, Muhammad, for you, it's the same thing. Is whatever it is that you're scared of is just walk into it, you know, and always be prepared. I couldn't do this if I didn't know about astrology or didn't know about tarot, right? I mean, I have to know something, right? I have to be somewhat prepared, but yeah, just be somewhat prepared, and just walk into it and just find out, and let your heart guide you, and just let whatever naturally occurs be your guide, and put your faith in that. You know, I think that's really faith in God is walking into something blindly. So anyway, Muhammad, I appreciate your questions, and I wish you beauty on your path. I am going to help Rimsha here with her question about having health problems. Thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to share my views with you. And we have Suditi Sharma. How are you? Thank you for joining us. I'm going to give Rimsha a reading here. She's having some health problems, and she wants to know when she'll get healthy. Now let's look at... I can't really give health readings, Rimsha. It's an area there's like legality and issues and things of that sort. But what I can do is I can do a reading on your general spiritual well-being, if you're interested in that, and looking at areas within your life or your views that may directly or indirectly affect your health. Are you open to that, Rimsha? Yeah? Okay. And who knows? We'll see what answers we get there. I can't give health advice. It's just not something legally I can do, per se. Or something suggestive of that. Well, hopefully you're doing okay. My question is, will I get into a medical college? If yes, then when? Get to a medical college. Looks like a lot of medical questions out of nowhere, huh? Yeah, I understand, Rimsha. I've been feeling a little down myself. Now let's go to the tarot room. And let's see what Rimsha needs to see here right now, and see what the messages from the angels are. Now Rimsha, I'm going to ask you a question here. If you had to pick a number between 1, 2, and 3, what you pick? You get to go ahead and pick the direction of your reading. Here's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. 1, 2, or 3, Rimsha. 1. Perfect. Alright, so let's see what the nature of your reading is. Thank you. Okay, some sort of tensions are building. Okay. Turn this off here so we can a little more room. Some sort of tension building around you. What's going on with you? Is there some sort of tension? This is very much on the material realms here and your resources. You have the King of Wands influencing it. So there's some sort of figure here that's affecting your health. There's somebody else in your life. You're tense, yeah. So you have growing tensions, but it's being influenced by this King of Wands. There's somebody, this is either a view that you're having, or there's somebody in your environment. I'm getting the idea here that your health issues are involving someone else. Okay, so this is the recent past. We're going to get all your cards down, and then we'll look at it. We're going to see what's motivating you here. So this is just going to be a spiritual reading for you. Okay, your subconscious motivations down here at the bottom. Okay, we have letting your guard down coming up in the future here. Now, I think there's some sort of tensions about some emotional honesty. Your attitude in the situation is the Empress. With the King of Pentacles in your immediate environment. Your greatest hopes and your greatest fears is the Knight of Cups. That somebody's going to come and make an emotional offer. Alright, and it looks like in your outcome card you have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So let's take some time here to dig in and see what's going on. There's some sort of growing tensions in your life. It's affecting you, affecting your health. The Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is some sort of burden or stress. You're feeling stressed out. So it's going to be important to tune into this. Doing a mentalism mind reading. I've seen people do it. I find it really interesting. It's not something I particularly focused on, but yeah, that's very interesting stuff. King of Wands. Let's look at the King of Wands. Let's see what the themes are here, and maybe we can identify who this is or what this theme is in your life. King of Wands is some sort of entrepreneur or visionary. It's some sort of masculine or male figure that's very successful. Some sort of leader. Are you married to somebody, or do you have a boss or somebody? Is there a male or a boss in your life that is there a male figure in your life that's causing you stress, I guess is the question. Or this is your own masculine side of yourself. So this could be also somebody who's kind of judging themselves too much. You're married. Now, how is your marriage causing you tensions is the question. Or is there a boss, or is this you being hard on yourself? There's somebody dominating you here. Now, I have a feeling what you're doing is your health problems are stemming, these tensions are stemming from being an empath. You're carrying somebody else's weight, someone else's karma. Sometimes you can be too close to something. So, this is, there's something called empathetic temperament. Okay? Now, do you consider yourself a sensitive person? Are you very sensitive to the feelings and thoughts of people around you? Okay. Now, there's something called empathetic temperament. It's very challenging. And this is the ability to manage how much of someone else's energy you're allowing into your space. Like when I do these readings, I have to be really clear about my space, not someone else's space, right? Yeah. Okay, so this energy is exasperating your tensions. It's either he's not being attending to something he needs to attend to honor the relationship, or it's like you're taking on his burden. Now let's look at your message from the spiritual realms. Okay, the message from the spiritual realms. These are your messages from the angels, so to say. What is my opinion about Satan worshippers, from Muhammad? Real quick question. My opinion is that I believe that, from what I understand, people who do that, they believe that Lucifer was kind of a good angel, and he just really wants people to be free. So I think a lot of them are well-intended, but there's a lot that are just misguided and have transgression and just are just frustrated and angry that somebody hasn't promoted their well-being in their life, and they're just taking it out on other people. Simple as that. People are saying please and thank you. People are angry or only feel that way because they have not had their well-being promoted. Simple as that. Is it good or bad? It's not for me. I don't really even think about it, to be honest with you. I'm too busy trying to just work through my own stuff. Queen of Swords is your message from the angels. This is your spiritual message. This is the insight you need to be able to move forward. So, in this case, the swords represent the mind, and the queen represents the feminine aspect of being able to of discernment. Right. So here's a female who's able to discern what's appropriate and how to apply her mind properly. Now, being a feminine aspect, a queen instead of a king, a queen is going to know how to discern who and what to let into her life and what not to let into her life, right? Because the feminine energy incubates, right? So masculine energy provides the seed, the feminine energy incubates and grows it to fruition. So the Queen of Swords is somebody who is a feminine energy who is very clear about what she's willing to grow and what she's not willing to grow. And if you have a masculine energy around you that's not being responsible with what he's intending or the energy he's throwing around, you can start to feel very uncomfortable, so to say. But the Queen of Swords is an indication from the spiritual realms that this is about mental mastery and discernment about what you're willing to take on. So there's your message from the angels. In the recent past, you have the Six of Wands in reverse. The Six of Wands in reverse is some sort of fall from grace. Something happened, or there was some sort of dispute. Something there was a situation that occurred within this family dynamic. I'm not sure what happened, but there was a situation that happened, and it may have triggered your husband or whoever this male or leadership role around you is into this view that's affecting you. I'm not sure what that is. Now, coming from the subconscious realms, you have the Ten of Cups. And this is what's motivating you. This is what you really want. You want harmony to be restored. You want emotional connection to be restored. I'm not sure if you have family or want family as far as children or have other family members, but your motivation right now is to restore harmony into the home and into the masculine and feminine energy. Now, I hate to say it, but men can just kind of be a little bit naive sometimes. A real man who's in touch with who he really is, his true nature, understands that what he intends is what the feminine energy will bring into fruition. So he honors that. He really, really respects that because he understands that there's a high price to pay for a woman, right? A woman gives everything she has, her body, her mind, her soul, to create babies, right? And the babies come out of her stomach, they distort her body, they suck her breast milk, and they leave her for dead, so to say, right? So, you know, yeah, prayers are powerful. Prayers are powerful. So anyway, you know, you're in a place where I think that you're surrounded by a little bit of conflict, and you know, you want harmony, and I think you're kind of holding it all together. You know, I think there's a little bit of energy there. Now, coming up in the near future, you have the Nine of Wands in reverse, which is great. This is letting your guard down. So that means these tensions, whatever these tensions are, they're gonna start residing a little bit. They're gonna start being able to let your guard down a little bit, and I think naturally things might just shift without really much effort, is what I'm hoping for you. That you might just kind of naturally fall into a place where there's more opportunity for harmony. So we'll take that as a positive. Your attitude in this situation is the Empress. The Empress is kind of the ultimate feminine energy. This is a woman who's confident. She knows what she's got. She knows what tools she has and how to create. So I'm not getting the feeling at all that there's a lack of confidence or awareness of what the truth is in this situation. I think you're very clear, I guess is what I'm saying. In your environment around you, you have the King of Pentacles, and this is somebody this is the masculine energy that's got the resources. So I think you'll have everything around you that you need to take care of this situation that you're in, whatever that might be. Greatest hopes and greatest fears is the Knight of Cups. You want him to come to you with an emotional offering. You want him to come to you with emotional clarity, and I'm not really sure if it's possible or not. I really don't know, you know, but you really want this awareness of his creative energy, to be aware of his power as a man and how it affects you. And you know, sometimes, you know, just remember when you have communications with a loved one and a partner, is when we speak from our feelings, nobody's wrong, right? But if we speak from evaluations, everybody feels like there's something to fight over, right? So if you just simply let him know very honestly, hey, when you behave this way, or when you want me to do that, or, you know, I feel this expectation, or whatever that may be, and you say, and it makes me feel scared, or it makes me feel sad, right? Then, you know, who's wrong in that situation, right? And a healthy relationship, it will always provide the opportunity for someone to listen to your feelings. And if somebody's not willing to listen to your feelings, then, you know, it's a great time to kind of start questioning the relationship in general. So, your outcome card is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. The Page of Pentacles is this person on this new journey. Page of Pentacles in reverse is some sort of planning that needs to occur. It's saying to look at the bigger picture, not necessarily the short-term view. So these are small cards. These are cards that are just circumstantial. I don't see any big deals here. I think that it's time to expand your worldview. It's expand the view of what's actually happening here. Really learn discernment and see the bigger picture is your message here. Now, in regards to healing, you know, it's going to take patience. You know, it's this masculine energy. You know, whatever this masculine energy, you need to come to terms with. And maybe there's something inside yourself that needs to be come to terms with masculine energy. So I can't really answer your question about your health per se, but I will tell you this, is that your situation is definitely connected with your husband, it appears, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity to really learn to manage your husband. He's a little bit ignorant of his creative powers, You're very in touch with them. So it's one of those things where we kind of guide from a distance, right? We guide with inspiration instead of direct conflict, right? So I hope that is helpful for you on your journey, and I hope you feel better soon. Get plenty of rest, and let your body clean out, and take care of yourself, and be loving, and try to avoid tensions and conflict, and maybe meditation would be helpful for you. It never hurts to just eat really clean and rest plenty and drink plenty of water, and I hope that you're doing well. I have time for just one more question here, and I believe our friend Suditi Sharma had a question. And are you still here, Suditi? Her question is, will I get into medical college? If yes, then when? Well, there you are. Okay, well, so then what I'll do is I'll just do a shorter reading for you that either indicates something positive or negative in regard to your movement into medical school. And then we'll pull a card, and we'll pull some numbers here. And we'll see if it gives us any indication in regards to a time frame. How's that for you? And how are you doing tonight? And Mohammed, your question about, do I think the Illuminati really exist? Well, the definition of exactly what the Illuminati is a good question. Does it really exist? Well, I think there's many dimensions to life, right? We have got dimensions of sight, sound, right? We have the obvious ones, right? Sight, sound. We have these other interesting ones, right? We have thoughts, we have feelings, emotions. All these things exist in these different planes, right? We're able to delineate between a thought and a feeling, a sound and a taste, right? So you could argue that these are all different you can argue that these are all different dimensions, right? So, you know, is there consciousnesses on different dimensions with different intentions and all this stuff? I mean, I would say it's probably pretty likely, right? It's pretty likely because we can already identify numerous different dimensions within what we're aware of, right? And we all know that there's a spectrum of lights and spectrums of sound and spectrums of visual color we can't see. We scientifically know that for a fact, right? So is there different dimensions that we're unaware of? I would say that that's arguably proven, right? So is there different dimensions of consciousnesses with different intentions and all this stuff? I mean, yeah, it's probably quite likely, you know. Is there people that are more aware and consciousness than us of different dimensions? That's probably likely too. Now, the intentions and who and what people are doing, that's a great question. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. But, you know, if you want to look at the negative side of it and say, you know, is there people oppressing people with power? I mean, you could easily argue that that's already true because of class warfare, and there's wealthy people that are openly communicate about class welfare being a fact. So that's, I would say that there's every indication that that stuff occurs. To what level, and if there's, you know, reptilian aliens and demons and all this stuff, I couldn't tell you, but it's just not a frequency or of energy I really want to focus my attention on. Okay, so Suditi, why don't you pick a pile, either 1, 2, or 3, and we'll get in to see if we're getting a kind of a yes positive direction or a no negative direction, and then if there's any numbers involved here. Okay, so let's go 1 here. Now we're gonna get themes here. Let's see what the themes are. Okay. So right away, the message here is to be patient. Okay. Let's collect this narrative. Okay. So to be patient is the start. Okay. Now this is really interesting. We've got patience, and then we have exactly the opposite right afterwards, right? The Knight of Swords is exactly the opposite. This is about as quick as it gets. Look at he's super charged. He's super excited. He's rushing forward, right? So the indication I'm getting here is that to be patient, there's going to be an amount of time that there is going to be some waiting, right? But once the wait's over, it's going to move forward really fast, right? So what you can do now is, while you're waiting here and being patient, is you can prepare to move forward, right? So you could prepare by making sure your living situation's appropriate, you have your finances in order, whatever it might be. You have plenty of time to really plan right now, right? And it's a great time to like play out your fantasies and desires of what you want things to be. At the beginning of any journey, we know our greatest hopes and our greatest fears, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a great time to just kind of savor and fantasize about this future you have for yourself. And you got the Ace of Cups. So, I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say right now, it's looking really positive for you. There's something abundant being offered to you after, a period of patience. Things are going to move forward quickly, and it looks like you're going to get what you need. So, and if you wanted to ask my opinion, I would say, it's a for sure. And then, we got the Three of Swords. Coming out of mental troubles, so no more worrying about it. So I would say that's a yes. Now, as far as time frames, let's see what numbers we get here. Okay, we got the Empress. That's a 3, right? So that would be either a period of 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. So if there's something that ties in to your situation, that seems relevant to be either a 3-month period or 3-week period or 3-year period, that would be the time frame that I could give you at this time. So it's going to be a little patience, maybe a little bit longer than you expected, but maybe 3 months. And it looks like you're going to have everything you need, and that all your worries will be set aside. So, Suditi, I hope that was helpful for you. And that gives you an indication of how things are moving forward for you. I wanted to let you guys know I really appreciate everyone stopping by. Oh, Heartbreak card. Okay, so this is in the upright position, right? So here's your solution. You're getting your needs met here, right? The Ace of Cups, right? In the upright position of the Three of Wands is heartbreak, right? So this is a broken heart, right? But the swords also represent the mind, right? It's in our mind, so to say, right? Now, when we're coming out of this, it can also be kind of worries, right? So when it's in the opposite position, this is coming out of challenging situations mentally. So this is within relationship to this reading, it's indicative of your worries being set aside. So these are all cards that help sculpt a general narrative, and they're not necessarily to be read specifically one at a time per se. You use the cards as a tool to create a narrative. So in this application, I believe this is indicative of a surrendering or release of your mental worries regarding the situation, because your needs are met. And I would say also that it's not just materially or physically, that you actually feel good about the situation is what I'm getting between these two cards here. There's emotional peace around it, which is really good. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for joining me this evening. Please follow, if you can, Street Level Spirituality, and you'll get messages every time we stream live. And also, if anybody feels inspired, you can make a donation below. There's a link below. But anyway, we stream live on Twitch. We do astrology videos every month for every sign. So check out May 2020. It's on the site right now. And I really appreciate you stopping by and having some special time together. I really appreciate it. And Mohammed, thank you for your wonderful questions. Suditi, good luck on your journey. Rimshaw, I hope your health is feeling better soon. and thinking community. I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but prayer is always something that helps us connect with the divine. So I hope you guys have a great evening. Thank you so much for joining me and sending lots of love in these troubling times. And I hope everyone's doing really well. Stay positive and stay connected, and let's do it. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.